And of all the things I thought down through the years that would get us through our competitors or the things changing, trends changing, did I ever see, a worldwide pandemic closing us? No, absolutely I did not. You know what I mean? My name is Brian O'Sullivan. I'm originally from West Cork, Castlestownbere. Ended up in Sligo. My mother always said to me, I keep moving further and further away from home. But I suppose, like anything, you just go where the opportunities are. We had the Garvogue, which was a late night bar. We had the Blind Tiger, which would have won Cocktail Bar of the Year for Connacht for the last 3 years in a row. We would have had a thriving hen and stag business. And we would have had a cafe running during the day. And then coronavirus came along and changed everything for us. It was the whole thing was the suddenness of it, like I remember on Monday. Then normally we pay all our staff on like Wednesday. We got all our staff in on Monday morning, and we got the wages processed really quickly, and we paid them all. And we got them all signed up on the pandemic payment and make sure everybody was sort of set. And we got all the food out of the kitchen, all the bread and the milk from the cafe. And, literally as the staff were coming in collecting their wages, we're like, take whatever you need, and when everybody was gone, I was just sitting there and it was like, what is after happening? Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, what's it all coming to? Like when they'd all gone, I was sitting there and I cried to myself to go, what the hell has happened here? Like, you know what I mean? Everything we've built up, everything we've worked on for the last 10 years, you know what I mean? Bang, we're closed and we've no idea whenever we'll get open again. And of all the things I thought down through the years that would get us through our competitors or the things changing, trends changing, did I ever see, a worldwide pandemic closing us? No, absolutely I did not. You know what I mean? And it was a big shock to the system, to be quite honest. And mentally, it was very difficult to process it, and it took time to process it, to be quite honest with you. But it's very surreal now when you look back on it and you think of that point, and that was a big low point for me personally. It was a big low point. It's that whole thing of that you've absolutely no control over it. But it's almost when you actually accept that you've no control over it, that you can start coming out the other side of it. And as I was probably 2 weeks in, and my wife pulled me aside and went, "Will you stop?" And I said, "What do you mean? You are all over the place. You're on the phone 24/7. You're trying to fix everything. You've no control over this, And and she was right. And it definitely allowed me to clear my head. And then it was the case. Then your mind was open then to doing different ideas. I had seen that there was a couple of companies out there, particularly Dublin-based companies, that were looking for kitchens that were closed at the time being, because we had a fully functioning kitchen in the Garvogue, but it was very underutilized. And it was a case that I was looking at these different opportunities that were coming along, different franchises, and looking at them going, yes, yeah, that might work. No, I don't think that will work in Sligo. I don't think it's suitable, And then one day I see Camille were looking for franchises, and I was like, bingo, that's the one. I sent it to my wife and she was like, yes, bingo, there's your one. There's the one you've been looking for. You know what I mean? Because we'd both be a fan of Camille. Anytime we would have been in Dublin, we would have always got Camille to take home with us. And it always makes it easier when your wife is, 100% you're right, instead of going, I think it's right. And she's saying, no, don't do that. And then afterwards you get it wrong, But we were both 100%, this is the one to go. From the very start, you could see the team that was there behind you, and the fact that we were able to move so quickly wasn't because we were able to move so quickly. It was they were able to move so quickly. So straight away, all the supports were in, and we were up and running in 3 weeks after we had signed off on things, which was fantastic. And they were there with us for the first couple of weeks, literally holding our hand. It was the easiest opening of all the openings I've done. It was the easiest opening I've ever done, to be quite honest with you. Do you know what? It's the first couple of weeks was like, you're sitting in a Maserati and you're just holding on for dear life, you know what I mean? Because it was mental, because what Brody had sort of predicted we would do we ended up doing 4 times that. You know what I mean? Sales were insane. And it was nuts. It was really hold on. I remember having a conversation and we were 10 days in. Brody said to me, Brian, your sales were good at the weekend. I said they were, you know. I said, I'm hearing your rumor we were long, there was some top sales figures there. He said, Brian, Saturday you were, of 39 Camille's in the UK and Ireland, you were the top, you know. Top UK Ireland, top in the world, as Brody said to me, like, you know, and it was just nuts, crazy, you know what I mean? To, you know, 39 Camille's and we were the top sales on that Saturday, which would be the main trading day, which was nuts. But it took off that quickly. The difference is for me, this is the major difference for me now compared to the last time this happened. The last time it happened, we had to close our doors. This time now, we have a thriving delivery and collection business. And we were able to deploy an awful lot of our staff that were working in the Garvogue to Camille as delivery drivers, and you know, because that business has gone up now because that's, you know, the market is massive for delivery and collection at the moment. You know, I mean, with all the restaurants and bars closed, it becomes, that's the new Saturday night in now, is where you're going to get your takeaway from or something, like, you know. You take my example. We were the copper face Jacks of Sligo. You know, we used to sell a few pizzas and we'd sell Pringles. And now we went through phases that we were selling more food and drink, which I would have, anybody that said that to me, I would have said, you are lost the plot. You know what I mean? You know, there was friends of mine that came in and he was going, you know, they were like, they just couldn't believe what we were doing because they knew where my stance of food was. Like, I was allergic to it. Like, you know, it was just not for me. And for me to do this was just, to them, was mind blowing. You know what I mean? But, you know, my message really would be to somebody who has a kitchen, if you have an opportunity to do it, it is a great business for the times we're in, and going forward. Somebody said to me before, you know, I mean, what would you do if you weren't afraid? You know, and it's a very simple thing, you know, but the whole thing always is the fear of failure. And if you can get past that, you know what I mean? You know, because the whole thing is people can put the best ideas in front of you and you go, oh, no, I'm not, you know, you see more negatives than positives in it, you know what I mean? And everything you're going to look at is negatives and positives. But the reality is you have to, when you know your business, you know what your strengths of your business are, you know what the weaknesses in your business are. And the whole thing always is try and concentrate on the weaknesses in your business to turn them into strengths. And that's how you will make your business more strong, more robust, you know, and adaptable, because all we've been doing over the last 6 months is adapting to things that are being put in front of us every single day at the moment, like, you know. But the thing for me is that what I'm looking forward to is in a year's time, year and a half's time, when all this is done and dusted, we get to the other side of it. We will have a strong food business. We will have a thriving delivery and takeaway option, and we'll be back to being the copper face Jacks of Sligo, you know.